Okay, so imagine this digital giant, right? Once this like sprawling online bazaar pulling in over $1 billion in revenue.
Yeah, a billion. It's hard to even picture now.
Exactly. And now that income's plummeted down to maybe $302 million in 2024.
Wow.
That's a massive 70% drop in just 6 years. So today we're doing a deep dive into the curious case of Craigslist.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when it was the place, the, digital flea market, a real pioneer?
Oh, absolutely. Early internet staple.
It felt like everything legitimate or, frankly, completely weird was on those simple text pages.
If you needed it or wanted to sell it, that was the spot.
Yeah, so how did a platform that was so dominant just kind of fade like that? What's the story there?
It's really one of the most fascinating stories from the internet's history, isn't it?
Totally.
So in this deep dive, we're going to try and unpack the many reasons behind this huge shift.
Okay.
We'll look at the competition, the external pressures that basically carved up its territory,
Right.
and also Craigslist's own internal philosophy, this almost stubborn refusal to modernize.
Which is wild in itself.
It is. And the kicker. Despite this massive revenue hit, despite looking kind of stuck in the past, Craigslist is still, believe it or not, incredibly profitable.
No way. Really?
Yeah. It's a paradox. We definitely need to dig into that.
Okay, let's unpack this digital shakeup. Craigslist, back in the day, it was what you'd call a horizontal classified site, right?
Exactly. Tried to be everything for everyone.
Yeah, like one giant digital bulletin board.
Yeah.
Jobs, apartments, furniture, weird art, you name it.
And it worked. For its time, it completely dominated the U.S. online classified scene.
But then things changed. I mean, the whole digital world just exploded.
It really did.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly, that reliable old local diner, Craigslist, found itself surrounded by all these shiny new specialized restaurants.
Good analogy. So what was the main turning point? Who started eating their lunch?
Well, the biggest player, no question, has been Facebook Marketplace, launched in 2016.
Ah, yes. Facebook.
And the really amazing thing was how quickly it took off, mainly because it tapped into Facebook's massive existing user base.
Billions of people already on the app.
Exactly. Projected 1.2 billion users by 2025. It wasn't just a new site. It was baked right into an app people were already using constantly every day.
Right. That's just an insane head start. But it wasn't just the user numbers, was it? It actually offered, more features.
Yeah.
It felt modern.
Oh, completely. Think about it. You could message sellers directly through Messenger. No more dodgy emails or giving out your phone number right away.
That's huge for trust.
Huge. And it used AI, algorithms to show you stuff you might actually want to buy based on your interests, not just a random list.
Personalized listings.
Yeah. And crucially, shipping. That opened things up way beyond just local pickup. You could buy something cool from someone miles away.
Game changer.
Plus, you could post in specific Facebook groups, like a local buy and sell group or one for vintage collectors, more visibility for sellers. It just felt more connected, more social.
And it wasn't only Facebook, right? There were others chipping away too. OfferUp, Mercari.
Absolutely. Those platforms jumped in with things Craigslist just didn't have or maybe didn't want to have.
Like what specifically? What made them stand out?
Well, OfferUp and Mercari brought in stuff like secure in-app payments. Huge deal. No more awkward cash handovers or worrying about scams.
Takes away a lot of the sketchiness.
Totally. And tools for sellers, like boosting your listing so more people see it without having to repost it manually every single day.
Which you still have to do on Craigslist.
Right. And maybe the biggest thing, user ratings, especially OfferUp. You could see if a seller was reliable, if people had good experiences, builds trust.
Something Craigslist, with its pure anonymity, just couldn't provide.
Exactly. It all led to this market fragmentation. Craigslist tried to be the one-stop shop.
The horizontal site.
Right. But then these specialized platforms started slicing off big pieces of the pie.
Makes sense, like for jobs.
Precisely. You got LinkedIn for professional stuff, Indeed for general job postings. Craigslist saw like a 37% drop in paid job ads in 2019 alone because of them.
Wow, 37%.
Yeah. And then for apartments and rentals, Zillow and Apartments.com took over. Better photos, maps, more details.
Way better experience.
And fashion, handmade stuff. Poshmark, Etsy. They built whole communities around those niches.
Tailored features for specific needs.
Exactly. They were just more efficient, easier to use, and often felt safer for those specific things.
And I guess most of us do that now, right? If you want an apartment, you go to Zillow, not Craigslist first. If you want vintage clothes, maybe Poshmark.
It's just a natural shift, isn't it? We gravitate towards the specialized tools.
Okay, this is where, for me, it gets really fascinating. And honestly, a bit baffling from a pure business angle, that Craigslist design.
Oh, yeah. The text-based bare bones look.
It's basically unchanged since the 90s. And apparently that wasn't an accident. It was like a deliberate choice, a philosophy.
It absolutely was a philosophy, but also ultimately a huge challenge for them.
So why? Why cling to that old school look so hard when everything else was changing?
It really comes down to the founder, Craig Newmark, and the CEO, Jim Buckmaster. They had this deep, intentional resistance to what they saw as like the internet getting too commercial, too bloated.
Okay.
And get this, their official mobile app, they launched it in 2019.
Wait, 2019?
Seriously.
24 years after they started.
Wow. The rest of the world had gone mobile first years, decades before.
Exactly. They just completely missed that critical wave. Let a whole generation of mobile users get snapped up by competitors.
It's almost like they weren't even trying to compete on that front. So beyond the late app, what other modern stuff did they just skip?
Well, pretty much everything we now consider standard. No built-in messaging. You still have to use email or phone, deal with potential spam, privacy issues.
Right. No integrated payments either. Nope. Still mostly cash in person or risky wire transfers. And crucially, no smart way to promote listings. No algorithms.
So sellers just have to keep reposting manually.
Yep. Every day, sometimes multiple times a day, just to stay near the top. It's super inefficient compared to other sites.
Why, though? Was it just about keeping it simple?
It stems from their core belief.
Yeah.
They always saw Craigslist as more of a public service, like a community bulletin board, not a profit machine.
Interesting. So they actively avoided that whole, what's it called, enshittification.
Yeah, that's the term. Basically, when platforms start out great for users, then slowly make things worse, more ads, higher fees, to squeeze out more profit.
Okay.
Craigslist did the opposite. Their costs are famously low. Tiny staff, no real marketing, no sales team.
Lean operation.
Extremely lean.
Yeah.
And the fees they do charge, like $3 to $10 for some posts, it's mainly just to stop spam, not really to make that.
So they could make way more money if they wanted to.
Oh, absolutely. Analysts reckon if they ran it like a typical commercial site, they could potentially pull in over $8 billion a year.
$8 billion. Compared to the $300 million they make now, that's staggering.
Puts their whole philosophy into perspective, right? It's not just talk.
And this resistance, it wasn't just internal. It got dramatic with eBay, didn't it? Tell us that story.
Right. This is a classic. So eBay saw the potential, bought a 25% stake back in 2004, thought they could influence them, maybe commercialize it.
Makes sense.
But Craigslist wouldn't budge. So eBay got frustrated and launched Kijiji in 2005. Basically a direct Craigslist clone.
Ooh, drama.
Big time. Craigslist sued eBay, saying they used insider info from their board seat to build Kijiji.
Did they win?
They did. Ultimately, eBay lost its board seat and had to sell its stake in 2015. It's a huge public statement from Craigslist. We're not changing. We're not selling out.
Wow, they really stuck to their guns.
Fiercely. But it raises this big question, doesn't it? What happens when a platform deliberately decides not to chase growth, not to maximize profit? It kept its unique character, sure, avoided that enshittification, but it also left the door wide open for rivals who were willing to invest, modernize, and market aggressively. It was a choice with consequences.
Okay, let's pivot to something else that's always lingered around Craigslist. The darker side. The scams, the safety worries, that general lack of trust.
Yeah, that's definitely a big piece of the puzzle.
The anonymity was part of the appeal for some, maybe, but it also feels like it created a breeding ground for problems.
It absolutely did. While some users value the privacy, it created this pervasive feeling that the site was just rife with scams.
We've all heard stories, or maybe experienced it. The fake check, the sob story.
Exactly. Users constantly report issues with scammers, people not showing up for meetups, aggressive lowball offers. It's frustrating.
And sometimes worse than frustrating, right?
Right.
There have been serious safety incidents linked to meetups.
Unfortunately, yes. There have been well-documented disturbing incidents during in-person transactions. And that, understandably, scares a lot of potential users away. The lack of accountability makes it feel risky.
So how did the newer guys like Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp tackle that? They seem to have built-in trust mechanisms.
They really focused on it. Facebook uses real profiles, even if they're not always perfect, and user ratings. You get some sense of who you're dealing with.
And a little bit of transparency.
Right. And OfferUp really emphasizes safer practices. They suggest meeting in public places, handle all the initial chat through their secure app, keeping your personal info private longer,
Small things that make a big difference in perception.
Huge difference. It creates a feeling of security, even if it's not foolproof, that Craigslist just doesn't offer with its bare bones anonymous setup.
There was also that big change when Craigslist removed the personal section, wasn't there? That must have had an impact.
Oh, definitely. That was back in March 2018. They pulled it entirely because of growing pressure and regulations around human trafficking concerns, specifically the FOSTA-SESTA legislation.
Right, I remember that.
And that section, well, it drove a lot of traffic to the site. Removing it caused a noticeable drop in overall visitors.
And fewer visitors overall means fewer people potentially seeing job ads or items for sale, too, right?
Exactly. Less traffic meant less engagement across the board, which likely hurt other revenue streams indirectly. It was another blow.
So you've got competition, the outdated platform, trust issues, and then there's just like people changing how they use the internet. Demographic.
But sure, there's been a really clear generational shift. Younger users, Gen Z, millennials, they grew up with apps, with social media integration. It's second nature.
They expect a certain experience.
They do. They expect slick mobile apps, easy messaging, maybe payment options, personalized feeds. Platforms like Facebook Marketplace just fit their digital habits better.
So Craigslist's user base is getting older.
Observably, yes. It tends to be people who started using the internet earlier on, got used to Craigslist style, and stuck with it.
And what about just the economy, like inflation, people spending less? Does that hit Craigslist harder?
Well, economic downturns, inflation, reduced spending, that affects all marketplaces, to be fair. Even Facebook has reported slower sales lately, especially for big-ticket items.
So everyone feels the pinch.
Right. But Craigslist's existing vulnerabilities, the lack of modern features, the aging user base, might make it harder for them to weather those economic storms compared to more agile competitors.
Okay, but here's the twist again. Despite all of this, the competition, the old design, the trust stuff, their users who are still there seem really engaged, right?
It's pretty remarkable, actually. The stats show users view like almost 26 pages per visit.
26 pages.
Yeah. And spend over 7 minutes on the site each time. That's actually higher engagement than giants like YouTube or Amazon on a per visit basis.
That's wild. So what does that tell us? It's not dead.
Not dead at all. It clearly has this incredibly loyal, almost cult-like following that still finds value in its simplicity and specific function. It's like this hidden corner of the internet that still thrives in its own way. Hashtag tag outro.
So wrapping this up, Craigslist is just, it's in such a unique spot, isn't it? Kind of a paradox.
Totally paradox.
It's definitely a has-been if you only look at that peak billion-dollar revenue and where it is now with that 70% drop.
Yeah, the market share isn't what it was.
But it's still somehow wildly profitable. And not despite its super lean model and its anti-growth philosophy, but kind of because of it.
Exactly. They intentionally keep costs low and prioritize a certain kind of experience. Simple, fast, no frills, over being the biggest or the shiniest.
It's just an anomaly in today's tech world.
And I think the really provocative thought here is that its decline isn't just about losing to Facebook or OfferUp. It's also about Craigslist itself deliberately choosing not to play their game.
They didn't want to chase endless growth.
They didn't. They didn't want the constant monetization push, the endless feature creep. It's actually a pretty powerful, if quiet, statement that maybe not every company has to prioritize maximizing profit above all else.
They stuck to their original vision, even if it meant shrinking, in a way.
Precisely. They define success on their own terms. It's fascinating.
So we've got to ask you listening, what are your Craigslist stories? Everyone seems to have one. Did you find an amazing hidden gem, a free couch?
Or maybe one of those slightly sketchy transactions that make for a good story later.
Exactly. Share your Craigslist story down in the comments below. We'd genuinely love to read them.